Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Bristol Talk Sports. We're back at you with another episode. We got the Thursday night review. On Thursday, we had the Indianapolis Colts head to Denver for what was probably one of the ugliest games you guys will ever watch. But the Colts came away with a 12-9 victory. What are your thoughts on the game, Jay?
My thoughts on the game were, this is pretty much a dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire. It was one of those games that you watch, and if you're a sports fan, like an average person can watch this game and be like, oh, it wasn't that bad of a game. The fact of the matter is, if you're a fucking football fan and you watch this game, and you weren't embarrassed for the NFL, then you can't say you're an actual sports fan because it was just it was disgusting.
It was an ugly game, but let's not get too harsh.
I picked Indy to take this one 23-20. But so I mean, yeah, great. I got the win, but I was nowhere near the score. Final score in this game was 12-9. In overtime, literally came down to the last play. Denver had a 4th and goal on the 1 yard line and decided to go for it instead of
it wasn't a 4th and goal. It was a 4th and 1.
4th and 1.
6.
Was it from the 6? Oh, they got the penalty, didn't they?
No, it was just 4th and 1 from the 6. So they only needed 1 yard in.
No, I thought was it that far back? I thought it was on the goal line. My bad. Either way, again, it was such a shitty game, and it was hard to watch, and it was again came down right to the last play. Denver could have kicked the field goal and tied the game and ended the game in a tie. Which would have been terrible for Indy because they would have had 2 ties on the season. I don't know going back if any team's ever had 2 ties on the season.
Ooh.
So I mean, they would have set a record there possibly. But again, not that Matt Ryan, Matt Ryan managed to get him down into field goal position in overtime. But
let's be honest, both these quarterbacks looked
terrible game. Wilson threw some. I don't know what he's saying. This guy threw a couple picks that were really bad. One of them, he was trying to do this no-look thing where he was staring down the right side of the field and he just fired it over this way to Judy. And he wasn't there. And it was just a wide open defender and he just snatched that ball up real bad and gone. And then even, down in overtime, this end zone, the pick in the end zone by Gilmore. No, it was
Gilmore. End of regulation.
It
was but it wasn't the end zone. It was Gilmore. I want to touch on both these defenses played very well, but I want to touch on Russell Wilson.
Defense played like a top 3 defense this game.
I want to touch on Russell Wilson, who's getting paid $245 million, and I'll be honest with you, I don't remember how much is guaranteed, but I believe quite a bit of it is guaranteed.
If that's the case, the way he's playing this year, he probably owes the team a little money.
I was going to ask you, do you think that Russell Wilson is on the downturn of his career? He's not the quarterback he used to be. Do you think that he's getting away with highway robbery, stealing all this money from Denver?
I think in the first 4 games, he's probably stolen a little more than he's given.
I get 5.
5 games, not 5 games, yes.
But I guess my real question, though, is really, do you think he's going to be able to turn around, or do you think it's highway robbery?
I think Russell Wilson's a very talented quarterback who's very young still, has a lot of game time left.
He's in his 30s.
He's 31. He's not an old quarterback. At 31 nowadays, with the way the players are playing and the length that their careers
of his style,
he's probably towards the end of the peak of his career, but that doesn't mean that he's in no way, shape, or form capable of being a very good quarterback. On the other hand, you have Matt Ryan, who I'm a Falcons fan. Y'all know that. I love Matt Ryan. I've got his autographed jersey upstairs. He looks bad. I'm not going to blame it all on him. I do blame the offensive line a lot. I know they have a rookie left tackle who looks like fucking garbage over there.
It was his first start.
He looked bad. He looked terrible. There's a lot of time. He's getting no protection whatsoever, dude. And I know he left Atlanta because he was looking for a situation where he could protect him, and they let a lot of their offensive linemen go in the last year or 2. And he's not a mobile quarterback. He's a 37-year-old Matt Ryan who needs a pocket to work out of because he's not a mobile quarterback anymore. Most quarterbacks aren't at 37. And he's not a huge guy. He's not a giant frame guy like Big Ben. He's a tiny frame guy.
This is where I got to ask the question, though. Does it fall on coaching and Matt Ryan? I will not excuse the O-line. You are 100% correct. The O-line looks not great. The Colts need to figure out what's going on with their O-line because it's been a bit of a shit show to start the season. But Matt Ryan and Frank Reich need to know this. Frank Reich, the head coach of the Colts. They need to know this. They need to draw up plays to get the ball out quicker. I watched the game. I've watched every Colts game this season. I will tell you, I don't know the stat for a fact, but I'm telling you, they ran the ball on first down, 1st and 10, 1st 15, depending on penalties. Somewhere close to 90% of the time, if not 80. Regardless, it's a crazy amount of times that every single first down, it's an inside handoff. Now, I know the strength of the O-line is Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly, the center. Braden Smith is the right tackle, but he moved into right guard for the last game against the Broncos. So they have a solid interior of their O-line, but they can't make the play calling so obvious. Matt Ryan looks slow getting rid of the ball. The play calling looks obvious. The Colts need to really, really analyze what they're doing because that offensive performance was ugly. However, I don't want to talk about how bad the Colts played or how bad Russ played and Denver's offense played. Both these defenses look great.
Yeah, defense look great. I'll give you that. And it's if you want to talk about positives, because there's still a pretty negative issue that we haven't touched on, and we will a little later. That's what happened to Naheem Hines. What the positives in this game were defense. Defense is amazing. Indy's defense was great. They made Russ look like a rookie out there. In Denver's defense, again, they got to Matt Ryan unstoppable. And I think Ryan threw 4 picks in this one?
No. Ryan had 2 more fumbles.
4
turnovers.
2 more picks. Yeah, 4 turnovers altogether. 2 picks, 2 fumbles.
But he didn't lose all the fumbles, but still, regardless, Ryan has 11 fumbles on the season. He hasn't lost all of them, but he's putting the ball on the ground way too often.
I saw before the game started, he had 9 fumbles, 3 turnovers he had 6 fumbles. He recovered himself, but he's had 9 fumbles going into the game, and I know if he had 2 more, that number's pretty. It's a bad stat.
The fact that we're recovering all those fumbles just sounds like a lot of luck to me, especially because the quarterback's typically the last guy in the backfield. Defense
also, some of those fumbles are the communication between the center and the quarterback and the snap. I'm pretty sure at least 4 of them were bad snap fumbles where he just pretty much fell right back on top of it after he missed it.
But still, he has 11 fumbles and 7 interceptions to 5 touchdowns. He's a veteran. The Colts brought him in to be a guy that's going to be able to help these young receivers, help out. He has a very talented running back, so you can maybe rely on the run game. And the O-line hasn't looked great, but when you have a veteran like Matt Ryan's supposed to be, you can get the ball out quick. You can read defenses, make quick plays, make quick adjustments. And he's put the ball in the opposing in threat of the opposing defense 18 times.
I really liked Indy coming into this season. I'm a Matt Ryan fan, and I liked what Indy was giving him to work with. But I mean, Indy, but the thing is it's. I was excited to see him play over there, but he's only had one really good game, and that was week 1, and it ended in a tie. So it's a shame that his best effort so far this year has only got him to a tie.
Well, other than going on about Matt Ryan and the Colts offense, some keynotes I wanted to hit on in the game were the kickers were just about perfect. The only missed kick of the game was the Colts blocked one of Brandon McManus's kicks. The Colts replaced Rodrigo Blankenship and picked up Jason McLaughlin, and McLaughlin made every one of his kicks in this game. And the Russell Wilson, key mistakes that he made with 2:13 left in the game, with the Colts having no timeouts. He decided to go for a 20-yard pass to the end zone, which was intercepted by Stephon Gilmore.
Terrible, yeah.
The only reason the Colts still had hope at the end, if you look at it in this game, was because of that interception. They were able to drive down the field and make a game-tying field goal. Yep. Russell Wilson's making key mistakes that are costing the Broncos games. And the Broncos, heard the stat in the game. I've been watching it. I've noticed that the Broncos are the worst team in the red zone.
Yep. Not a single score in this game. Touchdown anyway, I mean. But then again, as bad as Matt Ryan did play for most of the game, he got the team in position to tie them back up at the end of the game, and then he got him in position to take the lead in overtime. He didn't get them in scoring, he didn't score touchdowns, but he moved the ball enough to get them the win, which, again, is another ray of hope at least. that there's still a little bit of fight left in him, if nothing else, because he didn't give up. He went out there, he was a leader, he drove them down the field, and he got them where it needed to be, so they could eventually win the game. Also, again, I said we were going to touch on this earlier. Nyheim Hines he played the first 3 snaps of the game. He rushed a couple of times, and then he had caught a ball out in the flat. Matt Ryan was running forward.
It looked like he was really late on the pass.
Yeah. I mean, he almost just took the ball himself, but he saw Hines open, and he threw the ball across the field to him. It was almost a backwards pass. And Hines took it up, and on what looked like not a terrible hit, but he hit the ground pretty rough, and he got up and he was clearly injured pretty bad. This again, it was almost as it was like watching. It was like Tua, not as bad as Tua, only because Tua was but this was, and it carted him off where Hines was able to stand up, and they eventually walked him off.
Yeah, but Hines wasn't able to stand up.
Well, no, he was. Yeah,
he broke it down.
Yeah, he was definitely doing his best. Two-step shuffle there, but
I feel bad for him though. I hope he gets healthy quick.
Yeah, it's a shame to see a player get hit like that anytime. And hopefully he gets himself better. I don't know, because it was an early game this week. He might clear protocol by next Sunday, but I don't know. They might be stuck.
He looked like he still wanted to play.
Yeah. He wanted to play, but they weren't going to let him. If it was 1994, maybe they would have let him stay in the game, or come out for a snap and then put him back in. But it's not. It's 2022. And unfortunately, your guys' backups, Lindsey and Jackson.
Deion Jackson carried the game. He had 13 carries for 60+ yards.
Yeah. These guys came
4.8 yards per carry. Way outperformed Philip Lindsay, second year back.
Lindsey definitely had a chance to kind of stick it to his team, his old team, and he really didn't do it. I did see an interesting stat on him. He's actually one of the first. He was a walk-on, and he's the only walk-on ever to post 1,000 yards in his first 2 seasons.
All Pro? Not All Pro. Pro Bowl.
Yeah. He was the only walk-on ever to post, running back ever to post back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
Rookie year and his second year.
Yeah. So I mean, Philip Lindsay's not incapable. It's just maybe not the right situation for a guy who's not experienced in that offense. But unless you have too many other things today, we are getting a little late on our Thursday. So
I would like to see Russell Wilson finally catch a groove, but that's what everyone's been looking for from the Broncos. The Colts, your defense has looked very well. They blanked the Titans in Week 4 in the second half, and they really shut down Denver. The offense needs to get going. Colts are 2-2-1. Denver's 2-3. Good luck to both those teams. See if they can figure it out.
we'll see you for our Week 5 Sunday preview. Have a good one, guys.